I have so many questions about these photos.
Hi.
Hello.
Congratulations on the movie that I
Thank you.
immensely enjoyed. Glenn, I'm going to start with you. I know that this is based on a much loved movie from Ealing Studios and it's like that people absolutely love. Or were you familiar with it? And was there ever any talk of you doing what they did in that movie, which is getting you to play every single character?
Yeah.
Like,
Have you guys seen Kind Hearts and Coronets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alec
It's
Guinness.
it's a pretty it's a pretty ambitious movie in terms of like I always feel like whenever you kind of take some source material and kind of try to update it, you have to kind of go, okay, like tonally, would audiences kind of buy into that idea? And I think like John Patton Ford did an amazing job of sort of tonally navigating all those things. And I think Alec Guinness crushed that movie, but I'm really glad I had friends on this one.
Yeah, as someone who's in the supporting cast, I'm really glad he didn't play every role.
I was actually going to say, close your ears while I ask him this question, because it's not very nice to exclude you. Jessica, what was it like getting involved in this film? Because your character is kind of probably the best person, probably the kindest person in this movie, and she stands, I mean, for us, for the viewer. What was it like playing her?
What was it like playing her? I mean, we had a lot of fun. John was pretty free with us to sort of improvise and make sure that that chemistry felt really real. And I was such a big fan of his work. I loved Emily the Criminal. So yeah, it was a pleasure. And Zach would make me corpse
Oh my God.
constantly.
That's nice.
Yes, I'm very excited
The
for
feeling's
people to see this.
mutual. Yeah.
But I wasn't saying anything funny. Why were you corpsing?
Just good.
I think it was fun.
Why
Just,
were
yeah, some of your
you
takes on it.
I feel like a tenuous grasp on my own nervous system.
The boys, obviously, you all play kind of like, apart from sort of Glenn, you all play these kind of like characters that we won't miss if they get, pumped off. What was it like to sort of play those characters? For example, Topher, he's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved that character because he is just everything that you hate in that kind of, like, so not only is he rich, he's also very opinionated and has very high regard for himself. What was it like playing him?
Well, I've been doing research for the last 25 years of Hollywood. Certainly when you come out here, no one's from Hollywood, right? Everyone comes to Hollywood. Whenever I meet someone who says I'm from LA, oh my God, it's so rare. And yeah, you begin to meet people that were great research for this character. And then also I watched a lot of people on YouTube, both kind of celebrity religious leaders and also kind of self-help gurus. I always think anyone under any banner who's trying to tell you how to live your life better is hilarious.
Shout out to Deepak Chopra on the Epstein.
Shout out to Tony Robbins. Great stuff.
Yeah, with you because I watch you on your TikTok, Zach, and I absolutely love your TikToks because I always tend to agree with you. What was it like playing this particular character? Because I think I have met this guy a few times in my life.
Yeah, and I think there's something that happens with like a tremendous amount of privilege. I remember my father saying this thing to me once, where he's like, if a child can control the emotional thermostat in a family, if they can set the tone emotionally, it's incredibly stressful for them because they feel like they're just kind of floating through a void and they have too much influence and it's scary. And I think for rich people who have been rich their whole life, fabulously wealthy, it can feel really scary where it's almost like they want someone to say like, no, or they want something firm to push back against. And so I kind of have like a weird compassion for these people who are flailing and insufferable, but are also have just never had any kind of backstop to locate themselves with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I also think what's really interesting about the difference between y'all's characters is you're sort of going away from power, you're kind of going towards power. And I never really processed it like that, but the idea that you guys are still wielding the money aspect, you're just carrying power in a very different way and kind of opinion. It's still kind of obnoxious in its own sense.
Two
right?
different kinds
Yeah,
of
two different
obnoxious,
kinds
yeah.
of.
Yeah, you're trying to. It's like the fetishizing authenticity, but using your money as the only thing that you trust to get you towards it.
Yes.
I went to the Getty Villa or no Getty Museum or something, and when you're going into the Getty Museum, there's a thing that from Getty where he goes, "Please enjoy my art," and I was like, it's not your art. You didn't. You bought it.
Yeah,
It didn't. You didn't make it.
Yeah, totally.
But I
Yeah.
feel like he's like that. It's like, well, if I can buy my way into close
Yes.
proximity with authenticity, then surely I possess it.
Yes.
You know.
And no one checks you on those opinions.
No,
right?
But I
Which is,
think the Getty family turned out just fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really wish I had more time, but I'm out of
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love this movie. Good luck with it. I really
Thank you so much.
enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
I love
Dude,
it so
stop.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey,